No time for a fancy intro. I've got to get to more WWE talents, their ages, what they got left, and all that. So let's go. I'm John Rentham with my real honest thoughts on the Age of Wrestling WWE Part 2, Electric Roster Boogaloo. So if you missed Part 1, go check out Part 1. Here's the criteria briefly. Basically, I have compiled the ages of every WWE talent from WWE.com, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I did Part 1, went a little more in-depth than I thought, and then realized, holy shit, there's a whole lot of people to get through. To the point, this might end up being 4 or 5 parts. I'm also going to be doing AEW, just so you know, in case you're watching these out of sequence. I don't think that's how the term goes. But let's just get to it with Fallon Henley. She was Tesha Price, working AEW Dark Elevation, and then signed with WWE NXT in like 2021 or something like that. 2021, early 2022, I'm trying to remember. I like Fallon Henley as Tesha Price, and she's 30 years old. And honestly, like, to think that where she was performing during the pandemic era, getting better, she's really, I mean, I like the cowgirl, but she really has improved her persona, her character work. I think her in-ring work is pretty good. I'm not saying she's the greatest in the goddamn world, but I see the improvements. And at 30, she's got years ahead of her. Years ahead of her. They might need to keep her in a group. Her and JCJ might need to end up being called up together. Jasmine, I think, is a while from being called up, if ever. But that being said, Fallon Henley at 30, right in the prime, plenty of years left. Isla Dawn, sticking with the 30 years old. 30 years old in awful English. One, Isla Dawn looks great. I mean, my God, she looks great. I like her bewitchy, Scarlet Witch, you know, ethereal, Celtic, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. I don't know the proper term. But Isla, with Alba Fire as part of, you know, as part of their team, they actually have a good package going. That's not a euphemism. Isla Dawn, I'm not going to say it's ever going to be an A-grade worker, but she can do enough good stuff. She does look good, and she gets enough as far as her character work. And sometimes that's what you need. Her and Alba clearly do get along with each other, at least I hope so. If not, they're doing a really good job convincing me otherwise, but I like Isla. I'm a fan of hers. And at 30, there's time for her to get better. And in a tag team, you can bring somebody up, hide any weaknesses they have while they get better. So then we go to Nathan Frazier and Axiom Verge, a.k.a. Fraxium. That is a stupid name. Whoever came up with that name needs help. Nathan Crackpot Frazier is 26 and Axiom Verge is 27. See, that's okay because when Axiom started, he was just a kid. I'm just going to let that joke marinate there. Everybody's going to shut off the device. And now I'm just talking to myself. They are a good tag team, an exciting tag team. And as long as Frazier stops almost crashing on dives and everything, he was trained by Seth Rollins. He's got hops to him, and Axiom's got hops to him as well. I just worry because of their high-flying style that they're going to break down sooner. But if they can minimize the impact and take care of themselves and have luck on their side, once they get to where they're separate, you know, separate entities, I don't know what they're going to do on the main roster. I think Axiom might, as far as the mask and the look and stuff like that, and selling the mask, might do better than Frazier. They might have to have Rollins and Frazier in a Zabisco-Bruno type situation. You know, mentor, or student and mentor, but nevertheless, I don't know what their ceiling is, but hopefully they can, you know, hopefully they have long careers. Ivy Niles, 32 years old, has a good look. She's like a little fire plug. And I don't actually know if that's an actual term. But nevertheless, she's just a package of dynamite. And she actually is impressive as far as her look, her physique, and her ability to, you know, show off like what she can do. She's not great in the ring, but she's getting better. And as far as her physical stature, she's short, she's mighty, she's almost like a, you know, gender swap Mighty Mouse. But she is somebody that could be good in a muscle role and bring her along in some matches and stuff like that. I would be very surprised if she's ever a singles champion. Maybe an Intercontinental Championship run. I don't think she's ever going to be the main person or win the main championship, but Ivy Nile at least has a good look and has a few more years left. I mean, 32, like, I prime right now, but by the time they could use her in a prominent role, it's probably going to be like 5 to 8 years from now. Lexus King, a.k.a. Brian Pillman Jr., he's 31, and, he's exceeded his dad, some may say. You never watch his dad, and it shows. He is basically Eric Watts, just with a stupider haircut and beard. He's not bad, but he has achieved what he's going to achieve. At 31, he's not really going to get any better. He's not getting any worse. He's just going to be a guy on the card. He could stick around longer than his dad did, because I think his dad died at 35. But realistically, if Lexus King stopped wrestling, would anybody miss him? No, not really. I mean, I'm sorry. Nobody would miss him. I'm not saying that he should stop wrestling. He should earn whatever income he can. But he's also somebody that the MJF feud in AEW was the peak of what he did because of Metheny, because that dumb bitch deserved to be made fun of. But that being said, it's not his fault. He's just there. He's a guy that exists. 34, Io Sky. It seems like Io Shirai has wrestled for about 25 years. I mean, I know she hasn't, but you've been hearing her name for a while. She had a neck issue or some kind of injury that prevented her from signing with WWE, the first time. Got that addressed, and now she was Io Shirai. She's Io Sky. She looks great. Good God, I'd love to be crushed by those legs, but I digress. 34 years old. Even with her high-flying style, the moonsault and the things she does, she seemingly is in great physical enough shape to where another 5 to 7 years possibly. I mean, one I'm going to talk about here in this video also is in her 40s and is still able to go. But Io's got another 5 to 7 years left, barring any unforeseen circumstances. So Adriana Rizzo, I'm not really that familiar with her, but she's 26. So I don't really care for the Italian stuff. That just makes that sounds. I like Monica Bellucci. I like that Italian stuff. Boy, I'd like to try. Nevertheless, Adriana Rizzo. I mean, she's the type that they'd push. I don't know how good she is in the ring. I've seen like maybe a couple matches. But they're over 26. Time to grow. J.D. McDonough, 34. I mean, he's pretty much where he's going to be and is not really going to get pushed up the card. He's mini Balor. And Balor himself is pretty small. So, yeah, I mean, enough years left. But, I mean, really, is he going to do anything else and anything bigger than what he's done already? No. At least he's got a good head on his shoulders, though. So, AJ Styles is 47. Dealing with an ankle injury. I mean, AJ was going to have 1, maybe 2 Manias left. Maybe wrestle till he's 50, if he wants. But AJ's accomplished everything he needs to accomplish, and then some. I don't really know what else he needs to do. I'm sure his kids, at least a couple of his kids are like grown up by now, so he wouldn't need to be home for, he wouldn't need to go home and be a family man, as Guile would say. That's a deep cut for video game fans. But Styles can still go if his ankle will allow him. This was a pretty scary injury. But he doesn't need to do this anymore if he doesn't want to. He can be a coach. He can offer his wealth of experience. The man wrestled in the latter days of WCW. That is how long he has been wrestling. So, he wants to stop. He's done more than enough. But yeah, he's got till 50 tops. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are 39 years old, and I'm sorry, but just with their injuries, and they've gotten past their personal issues, seemingly, and that's great. Anybody see the Usos wrestling for another 5 years? I don't. I mean, I didn't want to see them wrestle at WrestleMania 40. Yes, I know it wasn't entirely their fault, except they're both not very good in the ring. The whole point is Jay's very over. Jim Uso is over. He called himself Jim Uso once, so now I know his name is Jimmy Uso, but just work with me here. They're 39, and they're over, and they could still do a few years, but I mean, realistically, by 2030, are we going to see them in the ring? I hope not, because they really, whatever, it's fine. Another team I'd hope to not see very much longer is Occam's Razor. AOP 31 for Akam, the J. Sherman tape ejector. Or tape rewinder. And also Razor is 30. They're 31 and 30, and that means they were in their mid-20s when they were doing their stuff in NXT. And they sucked. And they still suck now. I mean, realistically, these guys are klutzes. Paul Ellering is just posting weird shit on social media. And people say they could get better. I mean, yes, there is a chance for some of these talents to get better. Not these motherfuckers. These two lumbering oafs have no chance of getting any better. I'm not saying cut bait. You want to pay them to beat people on the card? Fine. But are they offering anything, have they offered anything since they returned? They got signed for a goddamn year before they came back to TV. And have not improved. Anyway, Joaquin Wilde, the former DJZ. I did not realize he's 38. Nice guy, by the way. Met him a number of years ago. Met his significant other at the time. Hot Shot. I don't think she's still wrestling. She was pretty good, though. Saw her in a couple of her first matches. Nice. Very, very, very nice. Very nice people. Wilde is good. He can do, that impressive, dive to the outside, where he gets so much distance. But at 38, I mean, he's just going to be a tag team wrestler, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But do we see him having a singles run? No. I don't see that at all. Number 39. At 39 years old, Akira Tozawa. It seems like this motherfucker has been around the company for a while. And look, he's a fine comedy act. I don't want to see him. I hate the Alpha Academy stuff, but it is what it is. He'll be a guy on the card. He's not going to be like R-Truth and stick around forever, but he's there. Joe Gacy, part of the Wyatt 6 thing, and he's 37. Credit to him. He has managed to turn what was a deathmatch career into something in WWE and parlay that into stuff that has worked for him. I wasn't a fan of the Schism stuff, and I don't really know why anybody was into it, but that's fine. You guys can like different things. I don't even have anything against Joe Gacy. I don't have anything against him personally. 37. He can preserve his body. He can do what he's doing here. He's not bad in the ring. I actually like the springboard, like the backflip into the, off the ropes into the clothesline. That's impressive. That's a good finisher. But, yeah, as far as that, he's just another guy in the card. 41, Alex Shelley. I'm just going to put Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin here and talk about the Motor City Machine Guns. They got to WWE way too late. Sabin came off of 2 straight ACL tears. It was 2011 and 2012, or 2012, 2013. I'm trying to remember which ones. I might be conflating those two. And great team. Very, very great team. Alex Shelley, got to see him at a couple indie shows a couple years ago. One against Nick Wayne. He's very fucking good. But the thing is realistically, they are going to maybe get a 2-year run, and then they're going to be coaches. Because with their style, even though they're safe, even though they have modified some of it, they're still small guys, still all those injuries, and Father Time is undefeated. And Father Time's been nipping at them for a while. But they still got a couple years, so get, hopefully on WrestleMania 41, WrestleMania 42. But I'll be amazed that they're still wrestling by WrestleMania 43. Just my personal opinion. By the way, by WrestleMania 43, you'll be lucky if you see any content from me, because I'm getting burned out because I'm 44 years old. But they still got something to give. They just don't have a lot left to give. Julius Creed could be the breakout. I mentioned Brutus in part 1. Julius Creed could be the breakout star, but realistically, if they keep spinning their wheels with them, I don't see anything good happening with him. He's good, though. He can show some impressive strength, showing up great, fired up, facials and mentality. He's the breakout compared to Brutus Creed. Nothing against Brutus, but I see Julius being a big star. They just have to capitalize on that eventually before it's too late. Alexa Bliss. She's 33. She's apparently coming back soon. Oh, joy. Oh, bliss. Har, har. I know it's for the Wyatt stuff. I've never been the biggest fan of Alexa Bliss. Realistically, after her NXT stuff, her WWE stuff has been sometimes good, but often middling, whatever, middling, piddling, dribbling down the goddamn leg. And she had a kid recently, or in the interim, and at 33, the problem is injuries. Injuries are a big thing with her. She is tiny, and I think of 3 years. I will be amazed if she's wrestling still at 40 because I just don't see it. I don't see her body holding up to the punishment. So then we get to Kairi Sane. A couple of years left in WWE before she goes back to Japan. She's another one. If she's wrestling by 40, I'll be stunned. She's good. She just doesn't seem like she has it anymore in WWE. I'm sorry, she just doesn't. She looks great. She's, she can still do some moves well, but just something seems to be missing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but Kairi Sane's still very good, but she has to be hidden in tag teams because I think there's just something missing there. There's just something that, when she left, she either left it in Japan or it's just gone and never coming back. But we get to Andrade El Olio, who is 35, and he's a guy on the card. That's it. He's not punching Sammy Guevara out backstage, which everybody wants to punch Sammy Guevara out. But Andrade, he's good, but as far as a world champion, no. He was NXT champion. That was back when dinosaurs roamed the goddamn earth. But he's just there. He's a guy that's good, but he's just there on the card. Speaking of which, Karrion Kross, 39, soon to be 40. Ever since people started dressing him down in NXT before he got made into a S&M gladiator and then got released and then got brought back, it has not gone well for Mr. Kross. Not gone well at all. I believe it was him and Davey Boy Smith Jr. that had a match on Ric Flair's last match card that was easily one of the worst goddamn matches I've seen in fucking years. And that was just because of a clash of styles or whatever. And that was 2.5 years ago. He's just not interesting. He's just not. And he's a big guy. He can talk decently. But he's another guy like just is there and he just exists. And age isn't even an issue. He could have been 29 and there's just no way they're going to push him because he's damaged goods at this point. He's had 2 runs in WWE that have had moments. Unfortunately, not all the moments have been great. And now that he's way older, 39 is not like a death nail, but he's just not going to be somebody that they're going to push. Andre Chase is 35 years old, and I really don't think that Chase University gimmick did any good for him because now he's seen as a joke. He's a fine athlete. He can do some good stuff, and he made the most of that character. But come on. He's going to be seen as a comedy goof in front of 500 people at the PC and in front of some bigger crowds where sometimes they would react, sometimes they wouldn't. And now Chase U is done. What else do you do with Andre Chase? Repackage him? So, Katana Chance is 35, Casey Catanzaro, and with her size, her diminutive size, I don't see a long run for her. She's lasted longer there than I thought. But there's a reason why she's in a tag team, because she's not dynamic as far as she can do some impressive moves, but she's not dynamic as far as the personality, and they have to hide her with, by teaming her with Kaden Carter, who is 36. Deceptive. I would have thought she was about 30, maybe, because I know she was in the Mae Young Classic. One of the Mae Young Classics. And Kaden has a good look. I think, has more chance to break out. I wouldn't mind seeing her and Naomi have a feud. Maybe her and Naomi team up and then have a feud. Because I think, honest to God, Kaden could learn from Naomi. And would learn a lot more than teaming up with Katana. But, I mean, both Katana and Kaden are in their mid-30s, and I think are just seen as tag team wrestlers and will just be on the card. They would have to almost go elsewhere to be featured better. But it wouldn't be as big of a stage. So it just is what it is. Angel Garza. He's 32, so still plenty of time. Him and Hey Berto are a good team, but they're not really seen as anything more than just guys that do moves. And I think that's what Garza's deal is going to be. I don't think he's going to be seen more than just a moves guy, even though he, if his body continues to hold up 8 to 10 years, he could still, do stuff at a pretty high level before he really has to slow down. But I don't think WWE's ever going to feature him. So he's just going to be there and just, earn money, and his prime's just going to So, Angelo Dawkins is 34 years old, has been there for quite a while, and him and Montez Ford are a good team. I'm just going to, mention Angelo Dawkins here because I think Dawkins gets the short end of the stick because he shows good fire and can do some good stuff in singles matches, but he will perennially be, he will be known as a perennial tag team guy. Easy for me to goddamn say. That's not to say that he's bad. That's not to say he doesn't have years left. That's not to say that you couldn't try to, maybe not repackage, but just give him a concerted push. I don't know if people will buy into it, even though he is very good. So as long as he's been there, I think he's just going to be a guy that's going to stay there for a few more years and then do whatever else. But if he's still there by the age of 40, I'll be amazed. He could still be wrestling by the age of 40, but he's good. He's just going to be outshined by Montez Ford. Unfortunately, that's not even his fault. And Kiana James, at 27 years old. Well, she's been off TV for a bit. I hope they don't bring her back as an enhancement talent. If you've seen it, you've seen it. Look, I'm going to go get on my soapbox really quickly. If women wrestlers want to get stuff done, plastic surgery, any of that stuff, I'm not going to knock anybody. It's your body. You do what you want to. If the company edict is still, they want women to get that stuff to look more presentable, that's the wrong mindset to give them, because then they don't have as much confidence. Like, you need to change stuff about yourself and get this plastic surgery and get these, get the bigger the titties. I don't understand that. If it's a woman's choice, great. But if it's the company's choice, they're making them do that, that's wrong. Kiana James, though, she was there for a while and then was suddenly gone. And then certain pics got leaked recently showing that, she needed time off to basically do some some bag work as it is. I'm going to try to basically be as nice as I can, because I like Kiana. I think Kiana actually has a great look, a very great look. She is very, very talented when she has been able to show it. She has definitely improved, and she is also very attractive. So it doesn't hurt that you want to market somebody like that. So hopefully she has a good run in the Rumble, and maybe they just start integrating her, because she's had enough time off TV. She's 27. You got years to help, build and nurture her character and everything. And as long as she, continues to improve like she was in NXT, why not feature her? So then we go to Apollo Crews, who is 37, and it is hard to believe Apollo Crews has been signed with that company for 10 years. Because he debuted, the TakeOver in, I think, TakeOver Brooklyn. That was that was TakeOver Brooklyn 10 years ago this coming August. Good Lord. Apollo Crews is very good, but Apollo Crews is just another guy on the card. At 37, while he can do stuff, there is no, unless you want to maybe turn him heel, have him do some stuff. The Nigerian stuff, I don't know why they did that, because it didn't work. It didn't work at all. Or they had Dabakato or Babatunde or however the hell you say his name. That didn't work at all. That was not a good job. And that's not even his fault. It just didn't work. But at 37, I'm not saying time's running out, but it's like, what are you going to do with a guy that has been there for 10 fucking years and you have perennially not used all that well? So, Kofi Kingston at 43. Kofi is still very good at what he does. And this new spin with him and Xavier being heels, I think will add longevity to his run. But he also, at 43, with some injuries and with stuff piling up, and also the fact he has been in the company for about close to 20 years, I think moving to being a wrestling coach or producer is in his immediate future. By Mania 42, 43 at the latest, I don't see him continuing to wrestle, and I don't think he needs to. If he wants to, great. If the company wants him to, great. But it's like, maybe get out before you're like totally broken down. Kofi's had a hell of a goddamn career. Better than I would have thought. Not that I didn't see the talent, but better than I thought the company would give him. But time is running out. So, Ashante Adonis. Speaking of time running out, 32. The guy, he's young enough, but does anybody remember Ashante Adonis really doing much of anything? He's part of Hit Row. That was bullshit. He's just going to be a guy that's just featured in NXT and just in the background. I don't see him doing much. And I'm not knocking him. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he's going to do much. So age aside, I don't see him doing too much. So we then get to Ariana Grace, who's 27. I don't like the pageantry character. I don't get it at all. I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's awful in the ring. But age-wise, she's still got plenty of time. But they need to kind of do something better with the character, because that's just not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me, dog. So then we get to 30 years old, Liv Morgan. Look, I would have actually thought that just because of how long Liv had been there, that she was a bit older. But then I remember she signed when she was so young. And looking at what she started as, and I'm not, this is my opinion, another bottle blonde they brought into NXT of like, okay, this is going to be a flame out. This is just another bottle blonde. And okay, wait, she's making the most of this. And okay, she's working harder. This is over a period of months and years. And over the last few years, she has really, really fucking excelled. She really has. That WWE 24 piece showed how hard Liv is willing to work and continues to work. And she's very, very good at what she does. Honestly, one of the top wrestlers of last year, especially just in WWE. She was doing a lot of great stuff. And at 30 with, everybody gets injured. But character work is going to carry her really goddamn far, to the point she's got another fucking decade of doing this if she wants. Multiple more championships, multiple more memorable moments. Liv Morgan is just in her goddamn prime at this point. Maybe hasn't even fully entered her prime. She's doing some great work. You're doing amazing, sweetie. So, anyway, no, in all seriousness, Liv Morgan has definitely won myself and a lot of people over. So, number 43. So, we're going to go to Asuka. Asuka's got 2 years left. I mean, coming off of an injury, she's had injuries in the past. She even had one point where she thought she'd have to retire in Japan. Has done great stuff in WWE. Won the Rumble, had multiple championships. I don't know if she's ever been fully utilized to her potential as often, but she has made the most of bad situations, even though she lost to Charlotte twice. And it was fucking bullshit. But that being said, Asuka at 43 still has some time left, but I can see her entering the twilight of her career because she's also got other businesses. She's got family. She doesn't need to do anything else. I'll be excited to see her come back at the Rumble, but I will also be amazed if she ever wins a championship again. Just because I don't know if I think her time has kind of passed. And that's not being ageist, that's just being honest. Logan Paul at age 29. I don't care what he does. He's taking it seriously as far as the in-ring work, but he's a fucking piece of shit, a crypto scammer. He's just as much of a piece of shit as his goddamn brother, and he wants to fight Conor McGregor. Possibly, as of right now, if he ends up fighting Conor McGregor, he might have time taken away from him in WWE. Oh darn, oh no, they don't need him. He doesn't need them, they don't need him. He can bring attention, but I think the bloom is coming off the rose here. I think Logan Paul's novelty has started to wear off, especially since people honestly should have known he was a piece of shit with the whole Japanese forest thing, which you can try to spin that however the fuck you want. That man deserved every bit of ridicule. All the Pauls deserve every bit of ridicule. The parents deserve every bit of ridicule. But at 29, he wants to do this off and on for a number of years. He's a natural at it. I can't deny that. So that he is somebody that they will feature, but realistically, if he was gone, after this year, wouldn't miss him. Wouldn't miss him at all. Austin Theory is 27 and feels like he has been there for about 15 years. And he hit his ceiling. He ain't ever going to get above that. He's going to have to go somewhere else, work in Japan, work in Impact. They have a TNA, WWE, working relationship. Maybe send him to Impact for 6 months or whatever. Have him do stuff over there and come back with, a fresh coat of paint. Because Austin Theory, there's still plenty of time to utilize him, but he's not that interesting on the goddamn mic. That feud with Cena did not work, and they exposed the fact that he's good, but he will never be great. B-Fab is 34 years old. Keep her as a manager, and maybe she'll see 40 still in WWE. But as a wrestler, people say she's improved. Well, she couldn't have gotten any goddamn worse. I mean, I'm sorry, just I don't see it with her. I don't think she's a bad person, but 34 with not a lot of ability. Keep her there if you want. I'm not saying release any of these people. I'm not saying that. But just, she's done very, very little remarkable stuff in WWE. Bayley at 35. She's done pretty much everything in WWE. I can see Bayley going another 5 years, being a job coach, producer, wrestling coach, whatever. I can see her wrestling a bit longer if she wants to, but I don't know if she needs to. Because look at what she's done in WWE since signing. She worked on the indies, but look at what she's done since signing. Multiple championships. She's had great moments and everything. Some may say, oh, she'll leave WWE after her contract's done and go see, her friend Sasha, aka Mercedes Moné, in AEW. You really think that Bayley would be be able to do anything good in AEW with the state of that company? Okay, whatever you believe, pal. But Bayley's still got years left, despite the fact she's had injuries and despite the fact that creatively sometimes they've stifled her. Ludwig Kaiser, he's a guy that's going to have good matches, and that's all he's ever going to do. He's 34 years old, good at what he does, but is never going to rise above a certain level. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just the case. Maxine Dupree, bless your heart you try. She's 27. They obviously see something in her and will continue to try to utilize her. I don't think she's even the worst in the ring, but she needs to be in tag teams, needs to be with veterans, and people need to work with her to try and bring her along. And I haven't seen her wrestle all that much lately. The last couple times I did, I'm like, all right, there's like flashes, but I don't necessarily see her being somebody that they're ever going to have big plans for. Do I think she's going to ever become the next coming of Mildred Burke or Wendy Richter? No. But she's 27. Maybe she could learn. Maybe pigs will fly out of my ass. So, 42, Natalya. Okay, she's probably near the end of her in-ring career, even though she can still go and is still in great shape and looks great. If she wants to wrestle till 50, if they'll have her, that's fine, because she's still keeping herself in great shape, is virtually, injury-free, and can work with just about anybody. I see her becoming a producer, wrestling coach, before the decade is out, to be perfectly honest, and that's fine. That's fine, because Natalya can pass along a wealth of information, especially being in WWE as long as she has, and working, other promotions before she got to WWE. And we're finishing up with Nikki Cross. 35, she's in the Wyatt 6. I don't think that they're ever going to feature Nikki as anything more than the crazy chick that she is right now, and that's not a knock, that's just how it is. That's really all I have to say. I mean, there's nothing really to say about these particular people. So, that is it. That is it for part 2. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, that is, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rethlin, and I'll see you soon.